Hello and welcome to 360 Sports on Trust TV. I am Emmanuel Fashemi. It's actually a fantastic Tuesday morning in the city of Abuja, and we're here to talk sports. I have a guest in the studio with me. I have Olawale Peters that will be doing justice to all of the stories we have on the show this morning.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Good morning. And
okay, I can see the smiles on your face. It's actually a lovely Tuesday, and I love your attire. It's as if we had a plan to put on green. The land is green.
You have a mirror at home that you used to check to see what I'm wearing today before you put on your green.
That's the beauty of it. All right, let's go straight to the first story we have, and we'll be starting from Asaba, where the young ones, where talents are being hunted at the National Youth Games 2023, the 7th edition, as it's ongoing right now in Delta State, Asaba. And we're going to talk about a particular sport where we have 70 players that will be jostling for honors in the sport of Scrabble. Let me say the game of Scrabble. And we know this sport is actually a brain sport. You have to strain your brain. You have to think out of the box. Sometimes you have to master your words, know your diction properly, and that is what the sport is all about. It's very educative. And when it comes to Scrabble in Nigeria, in the world, Nigeria is a force to be reckoned with, and even in the African continent. Let's not forget Wellington Jegere, #1 in Africa, and also held his own in the world. And the last time out in the United States of America, where we have the World Scrabble Championship, we also did well. Our Scrabble sportsmen did well right there in the United States of America. But in Delta State, Asaba, right now, the sports was integrated into the sports this year, and we have 70 players that will be fighting for honors. Olawale Peters, this is a commendable one coming in for the National Youth Games.
Yeah, I think it's a very good one, and it's long overdue. This is one of the sports that we are very good at in this country. This is one of the sports, like you rightly said, it's educating, it's informative. At times, you hear some grammar, some English that you'll be asking yourself that, oh, does this word really exist or not? Until you have to call in the dictionary to check if it does or not, and which, at the end of the day, you find out that, oh, it actually exists. So let's see how we're going to see another David Ojo coming in.
Yeah.
Let's see
another Wellington.
Another Wellington coming in. Let's see how we're going to get another Paul Ogenero coming in. Let's see how we're going to discover a lot of stars that have made Nigeria and Africa proud when it comes to this sport. It's a very good one. It's going to be very interesting, exciting. I'm waiting for the game to kickstart, because this is a game that I love so much, because you learn a lot,
of course,
from it. Nobody's an island of knowledge. You're going to learn a lot from this game of Scrabble. So we are waiting for you to start.
All right, we are waiting for you to start. When it comes to Scrabble, the first time I actually tried it out, I was beaten blue-black by my opponent. It's not by what you know, it's by what you have upstairs. But it's a good one, like you mentioned, for the game of Scrabble. If we look at it this way, now I love the idea that this game was integrated into the National Youth Games. That means that they want to do what is called Operation Catch Them Young. Then how can we improve on that?
Okay, and I think apart from waiting for the game to be integrated into the National Youth Game, we should go back to the secondary school also, whereas we're going to make sure that we have it at that lower level. Most of these Scrabble players, if you look at their age, for example, now they are between the 15 and 20 years of age. So if you can go back to secondary school, introduce a competition that will make all the secondary schools to come out and compete, I think we're going to catch them younger than the way we are catching them right now. So what we need to do is to go back to the grassroots, get the talent there, try and give them the necessary exposure and the training that they need so that they can compete among the best in the world.
Okay, just go back to the grassroots. That means go back to the basics, secondary school, primary school. Just create a competition for them, and then you can harness talents and groom them, breed them properly for future competitions for Nigeria. And as it stands in the medal table that we got this as before coming into the studio, Delta State, the host state, is leading the pack, followed by Lagos State, and Bayelsa is third on the log, and FCT is occupying occupying the 7th position in the log standing at the National Youth Games. FCT is our own. We must commend them. Probably from tomorrow, from Wednesday, we'll be getting a lot of feelers and live update coming in from Delta State, Asaba, where the National Youth Game is ongoing. Okay, let's leave the National Youth Games and talk about the NPFL. Finally. Well, sometimes in our parlance, finally, I don't land for Abuja. Finally, the kickoff date has been confirmed. 30th of September. About more than 5 games has been lined up for match day 1. Interesting fixtures, and now the NPFL organizers, being chairman by Elegbeleye, they say 30th September the league will kick off, whereas we already have 1 month gone in the EPL, in La Liga, in German Bundesliga, Italian Serie A, and other leagues in Africa, the Super Dix, that is South African League, the Botola, and the rest of them. But now we're just having to kick off on the 30th of September.
I think it's something that the NFF, they have to really look into. We shouldn't be running our own cycle outside the normal cycle of other European leagues and clubs, and even our contemporary in Africa also. We shouldn't be doing ours 3, 4, 5, like Premier League now they're in week 6.
Yes, of course.
La Liga they're in week 5. Bundesliga they're in week 5 also. Even the South African leagues also. So that means when all these leagues they finish their own league, we'll be struggling to continue. I think it's all about early planning. Early planning, that is the issue. Now, believe me or not, next season preparation by the Premier League, they've started it right now. They know how to reschedule or to schedule their game. Like today and tomorrow, there'll be the
EFL
Cup coming in. They make sure that they do the schedule in a way that it does not disrupt the Champions League. They know when Champions League is being played now, every 2 weeks. So when they have their own FA Cup or Carling Cup, they'll come in that week break that they have. They know when you're having an international break. This is not something that just happened overnight. The FIFA calendar has been there, has been approved from the beginning of the season. They will work with it. The excuse that they gave was because of logistics and what have you. I think we are tired of hearing
logistics reason and the rest.
Logistics. If it is money issue, let them come out and tell us that it's financial issue, and we've provided a solution to this issue on this show here. Privatize. Let individual comes in, corporate organization comes in and take over this league from the government. So that is the way we can get it right and do it right, because it's like it's pulling us back. Each time we're getting 1 step forward,
we'll go 10 steps backward.
Even 20 steps backward. So that's the situation we found ourselves that really seriously needs to look into it. It is not really good for us. It's not telling on our players also. And this the player that you want to develop from our own local league, domestic league. So if they cannot compete favorable with their
contemporaries and
outside, how does it work now? We have
Champions League, Confederations Cup.
So how is it going to affect our own league when we are starting very late? We have Nations Cup coming up in
next
January,
year,
also,
just few months
from now. Also, it's going to. So all this issue will disrupt our own league. When the players are supposed to be resting, when they're supposed to go for probably a trial, maybe a scout is in the country to look for 3 or 4, 5 players. When their own league is on suspension over there, that the opportunity for you to go over there and spend a month or 2 months to see if you can fit in, you won't be able to do that. What time will you have to rest? So these are the things that they really need to look into it. I just pray that September 30th, today is 26th, right? So we're talking about in the next 4 days. I hope it is sacrosanct. I hope a day or 2 days they will not call another emergency press briefing and said due to another logistic issue
we are pushing this
forward. I think we get it right when it comes to that.
Yes, we will get it right when it comes to that. But if you look at it, the NPFL at the first time when the date was confirmed for the league to kick off, actually asked the same question that Olawale has talked about. Is this sacrosanct? At the end of the day, we saw that the league was moved forward to unknown date. But now, after the deliberations and logistics being put together, sponsorship deal being signed, now they say 30th the league will kick off, and that will lead us to the next story. Now the clubs are going to be getting 10 million naira takeoff grant. 200 million has been budgeted for this, and the 20 clubs will get 10 million naira each. As you can see on your screen, Enyimba is the defending champions. They won it right there in Lagos. That is the former winner. We also have Rivers United, who won the last before Enyimba won the last one in the Super 6. As you can see on the screen right now, that is the check for the 200 million naira for all of the clubs, and the 20 clubs, they are going to share 10 million as a takeoff grant. In the question I will ask, will this money get to this club?
A good question. Will the money get to the club? And if the money gets to the club, will it get to the players? If the money gets to the player, is it enough to motivate them? If it's enough to motivate them, is it enough to take care of their
needs,
their needs, their welfare, and what have you? We know the way things have skyrocketed in this country right now. We know the cost of transportation. None of them can afford to travel by air. That's the truth, because if they want to travel by air, how many players do they have? They have 20 players. So to and fro flights now, the minimum you can get in this country is about 100,000 naira. So if you are giving them 10 million naira, so that means just to and fro for a match or 2 matches.
The money is gone.
The money is gone. So where are they getting the money from? So I think the government, they are trying sincerely, but they have more than enough on their hand that they should try and excuse some, leave some, allow people to come in. We will not continue to emphasize on this. We will not continue to say this, because that's the reason why our football is not developing in Nigeria.
Yeah.
If you look at other African countries, if you look at all the North African countries, even in the Europe country we're talking about, sponsorship deals play a major role. When you're talking about football development or sport in general development in the country, until we look at it as a means of helping the economy to grow, as a means of contributing to the GDP of our country, maybe then we'll have a rethink about what sport is all about. It's not about recreational activities alone. It's about business.
Sports has gone past the entertainment.
Exactly. It's business. People are making a lot of money. Go to England, go to Italy, go to Spain, go to France, go to Germany. Go and look at the amount of money that sport is contributing to their economy. We have to start looking at that. We should stop using sport as a political compensation, political weapon, or what have you, or a way of siphoning money in one way or the other. So I think if you don't do that, we continue to have this problem. 10 million naira take-off grants, it's not going to take them anywhere, sincerely. And you know, when the players are not motivated, how do you want them to perform optimally?
Okay, when the players are not motivated, their performance then will also be in question, and the NPFL, the NFF, and everybody involved needs to look inward and increase that. Allow private investors to come in, create a room, and the government also need to bring policies that will favor the private investors for them to have the chance to do anything in our sports. But the organizers need to take the first step, and then every other thing will follow suit. We gave them kudos for last season, how it was being organized for the average league, but this time around, let's see how they are going to organize, do well with the 20 team standings, 38 matches straight, and you give each club 10 million naira to execute 38 matches, take off grant. Well, maybe another grant will come before the end of the season.
Just divide the 10 million naira by 38 matches and tell me how much is be available for each team per match.
Well, NPFL organizers, congratulations for even trying to give 10 million, but we need to do more. This will not help us if we continue like this. That means we will be going around the cycle without moving forward. Okay, let's leave NPFL. Let's go straight to Cairo, and we're talking about CAF, and now it also concerns Nigeria. Good news. I think they've heard us from here because we'll be hammering on these. Now we've had referees being lined up for the that is the Women's Nations Cup qualifier match between Mali and Central African Republic, and one referee is actually leading that charge. That is Patient Madu. Patient Didi, I beg your pardon, from Enugu State. She has been fantastic, a very good referee, and if you look at it, she's not one. She's the best referee right now that Nigeria has. Yeah,
and I agree with you. She's the best referee we have now. We're not talking about female category alone. Even we combine them together.
Both male and female.
And she's a doctorate student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka. currently.
That's a good one.
Yeah,
so for everybody out there who wants to be a referee, listen to that profile again.
Yeah, it is, and she's a like I said earlier on, a doctorate student of University of Nigeria, Nsukka. And also she won the best referee in the country in 2021. Then she has already referred also at the Olympic game, 3 matches under her belt. Wow. She has done that, and she's the first referee in Nigeria also to officiate a VAR match. CAF and Champions League competition in Morocco. So she didn't just go to where she is today by chance or by luck or by favoritism. She got there because she prepared herself and she distanced herself at someone that can do it. So that's why we do normally say that if you have no matter how you have it, you still have people with good quality, good attitude, good attribute that have what it takes. She has made us proud as a country. So that's why they say what a man can do, a woman can do better. But in sports in this country, I think the
women are doing
far better than men. And that's the reason why she has been nominated also, selected rather, to officiate a CAF competition. Have you ever witnessed that from our male counterpart before?
No.
And
the highest we've gone is an assistant referee.
No, not assistant referee. Assistant to the assistant referee. So those are people that will stay off the pitch, not the one that will stay on the pitch. It's assistant to the assistant referee. So I think a lot needs to be done. And to be sincere, with due respect to our Nigerian Referee Association, we have good qualities also. We have good people also. But the truth is, if you don't have enabling environment to showcase your talent, you cannot excel sincerely. If the clubs, the teams, are being given 10 million naira as a takeoff grant for 38 matches. Now, let's know how much have they provided for the referees. So when you are referring, and you know that your life is at stake if you do the right thing because of the supporters, because you are good. I don't know if you get the point.
You're going to face a lot
of issues. So I think we have good referees in this country also. The environment may not be conducive enough for them, but nevertheless, the fact that the environment is not conducive enough for you doesn't mean you should not do the right thing. You should be doing the wrong thing. If indeed, for example, now she's doing the wrong thing because the environment is not conducive, she won't be where she is today. I think we should just take the humble pile, learn from her. How did she get to where she is today? And probably in the next 2, 3, 4 years, we can have more Nigerian referees officiating at even, let's start from AFCON.
Yes, of course. Let's start from AFCON. It's a very good one for Patience today. Alongside, we have other officials that will be joining also from Nigeria. We have them from Akpan. We have Abibatu Yusuf. We also have Abibatu Yusuf. We have Abigail Alaba, Oluwa Fumilayo. All of them who will be the 4th official, that is the match commissioner. So for from Akpan and Abibatu, they will be the assistant referee AR1 and AR2. And it's a good one that these ladies will be officiating this game between the Central African Republic and Mali for the Women's Nations Cup qualifier that will happen next year. The first leg, I think Mali is leading the first leg of that game, and whoever wins the second leg eventually will qualify to the next round, and that will next round, and then already en route to the Nations Cup for women. We know that Nigeria already have one of their foot there after Satuma and Principe withdraw against the game against the Super Falcons of Nigeria. But for Patience Ndidi Madu, congratulations to all of you who have been selected from Nigeria to actually officiate this game. Like Olawale Peter said, it's because of hard work and doing the right thing. She has been, in fact, pulled out of the millions of referees we have in Africa to come and officiate this game. Not just a anyhow game, but a Grade 1 CAF competition. Okay, let's leave that story and look at some fixtures that will be happening in the European top 5 leagues. We have fixtures in La Liga, in French Ligue 1, and also in the German Bundesliga, Serie A. But we're going to look at these fixtures in the league. We have Sevilla against Almeria, Mallorca against Barcelona, Juventus against Lecce, and Lille against Reims, Stade Reims. That is in the Ligue 1. But let's look at this game. 2 games in the La Liga, 1 game in Serie A, and 1 game in French Ligue 1. But let's look at the game between Mallorca and Barcelona. Now Barcelona have a chance to widen the gap again against Real Madrid.
Yeah, and Real Madrid, they allowed themselves to, maybe they got carried away. I don't know what happened, because sincerely, most of the pundits, including myself, and we predicted Real Madrid
to win that game. I also joined that.
Yeah, because if you look at the past record between the two teams, that's Real Madrid and Atletico, 14 matches, and Atletico Madrid only won once. They drew 6 times. And Real Madrid won 7 times. And if you look at La Liga season, I mean this season rather, Real Madrid, they've won their 5 matches.
On the bounce?
Before they are meeting with Atletico Madrid. So that's what we do normally say, that when it comes to derby match, forget it. What we've done before does not matter. It's what is going to
We saw that in the London derby.
The London derby also. We saw that one also, and that between...
that is Arsenal and Tottenham.
And Tottenham. When I predicted here on Saturday, there's going to be 2-2. And then it was like 2-2, am I sure? And Arsenal fan from London that joined us said 3-1 in favor of Arsenal. I said, see, the match is very different. What Arsenal has been doing, it will be different from what will happen on that day. And we saw what happened on that day. It's like immediately Arsenal scored,
Tottenham
equalized, and it ended 2-2. So it's an opportunity for Barcelona also to extend, to widen the gap by beating Mallorca also. But it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy for them. They've been having a fantastic run since the beginning of the season, but they shouldn't be looking at Real Madrid as their only opponent in the La Liga. They should take every other team with respect. They shouldn't go with the mindset that the reason why he wants to win this match is to widen the gap with Real Madrid, is to be sure that the defeated Mallorca, they are not playing with Real Madrid.
Yes, of course. I think Mallorca will do Madrid a favor, because Mallorca also is from that side of the city, from the capital.
They're from the capital. Also, it's more like a semi-derby.
Yeah,
it's like a semi-derby also. It's going to be very interesting. But take it, the best Mallorca can get from that game will be a draw, because the Barcelona thing, take it or leave it, they really want to relaunch themselves back
to where they
used to be.
Can Xavi do that quickly?
Yes, when it comes to La Liga, he can do that. But when it comes to the Europe, I think he still have to learn a lot. It's going to take him like 2-3 more years before he can do that. But now, I don't think he has what it takes to rule the world the way Pep Guardiola ruled the world. Because then, Guardiola has the best
complete team.
A complete team that even if you are the coach at that time, you don't need to do anything.
I will just sit there, cross my leg. Go and
guys,
play.
Go and play,
and they will deliver.
And they will deliver for you. So that is what happened then, but that is not what we are having currently now. It's rebuilding the dynasty again. It's rebuilding the team again. It's rebuilding the structure again. It will take him additional 3 or 4 years before they can get to that stage.
Okay, for Xavi, he's actually building. Let's see how it ends. Real Mallorca against Barcelona in that particular encounter in La Liga, and some other fixtures that were happening in Europe. Okay, let's leave that quickly to go to the next story, still in Europe, but this one concerns transfer, and that is Arsenal right now. They've said they are going to improve Ivan Toney offer in January. We know that the mid-transfer window will open in January, and Arsenal wants to do everything within their power to see how they will snap up this guy, fantastic guy, Ivan Toney from Brentford FC. Okay,
yes, fantastic player, exceptional player. We saw what he did last season, even despite the ban and the suspension we received as regards the case of betting, whatever that he did. But the first question is Brentford ready to let their captain go, their main striker go? That's the first question. The second question is, most of this big transfer doesn't happen in January. It happens at the end of the season. So I see this as a window shopping. Then thirdly, I think Arteta is not trying to disrupt or disorganize
what is building.
What is building right now. The past 2-3 years, they have started building the team, and they are having a unit right now. Currently, Arsenal, they have 6 strikers, 6 forward. They have Gabriel Jesus
there.
They have Saka, Bukayo Saka there.
That's
they
2.
have Martinelli there.
3.
They have Nketiah there.
That's
they
4.
have Trossard there.
Yes.
And they
5.
have Nelson there.
And we still have other Fabio is still Fabio Vieira.
Yeah, that one play more from the defensive midfielder. So I'm talking about the forward that you use, depending on the formation he wants to use. If you want to use most of his formation is 3 up strikers. So that's why you normally see that Gabriel Jesus or Nketiah, and you see Saka and Martinelli. They're always from the flank operating. So once you have 6 good forward, not that they are anyhow forward, very prolific, very pacey, and they have the goal sense, and they've blended already. Now you want to bring Ivan Toney to come in and dilute their team. I hope the issue that we're having with Aaron Ramsey and David Raya will not repeat itself between this guy. Ivan Toney come into the team. As far as I'm concerned, I think he has a compact team, he has a unit team, he has a team that can win Premier League, he has a team that can compete and get to at least semi-final in the Champions League. So it's just concentrate on how to do that. You shouldn't be bringing in people that will disorganize or destabilize their team right now.
Okay, Arteta, you heard that straight up from Trust TV, and Olawale Peters is telling you know what to do. They have actually said they are going to improve that bid to 60 million pounds for Ivan Toney. That is a lot of money. Okay, that is where we'll leave it on the show 360 Sports on Trust TV. Olawale Peters stands for doing justice, and if there is anything to go by, I believe Arteta will listen to you.
I hope you listen to me, and I hope he will pay for the consulting fee.
He will, certainly. Okay, that is it on 360 Sports. Thanks for watching. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.